Fitness is one aspect of health, and you can be fit and still be unhealthy. Because I see a lot of people who pursue fitness at the cost of health. So fitness has a lot to do with optics, and whereas health has a lot to do with how you're feeling good about yourself. If it costs your health, it's not worth it. But if it adds to your health, fantastic. If you have been constantly running from one exercise routine to another or one diet to a new one, maybe it's time to pause and ask yourself if you're chasing just fitness and missing out on your health goals. In today's episode, we explore the difference between being fit and being healthy. While fitness is an important part of your health, it is just one aspect of it, while health is the foundation that sustains it all. We will discuss how to create a lifestyle where movement enhances health rather than exhausts it, and where fitness becomes a joyful expression of vitality and not a pursuit of perfection. Hope you enjoyed this episode. In today's episode, I want to discuss about the difference between fitness and health. Many people misunderstand being fit means I am healthy, which is not true. Fitness is one aspect of health, and you can be fit and still be unhealthy. And that is what I want to discuss in today's episode. Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this episode right now, recently I went for this fitness racing called High Rocks in Mumbai. And when I was doing the run, I saw a lot of men. When I say lot, maybe 5 or 6, it's quite a lot, with picture perfect muscle definition. They would have 6 packs, and if you assess their body fat, it will be less than 10 or maybe less than 8 also. And I saw these men struggling to complete the race. Especially in the running area, they were really struggling. But I saw them, when it comes to certain where strength training is required, they were doing it very well. But when it comes to certain endurance part of the race, they were really struggling. But on the other hand, I also saw men who were slightly overweight acing through the race. So what we have to understand, many people misunderstand if you have 6 packs and if you have picture perfect muscle definition, you could be healthy. Yes, there are healthy people who have good muscle definition, but having a good muscle definition does not mean that they are healthy. This is the point that we are trying to explain here. Now, before I explain more about the experience in High Rocks, I would like to give you some analogies that can make you understand what is the difference between fitness and health. Fitness is about your aesthetics, your strength, ability of your strength, and ability to do some short-term physical activities that are quite challenging. Whereas health is about your overall wellness, overall ability of the body to function. Now, a good analogy will be let's take a home. If you say the fitness of this home is great, that means the aesthetic look, the interiors are fantastic. It's very easy to the ergonomics and the furniture that is kept. It is all looking very good and user-friendly. This, you can call it as the fitness of the home is great. Health of the home will be how good is the plumbing, how good is the wiring, how good is the foundation, and if there is a severe storm or a severe rain, is it leaking internally? Now, this is the health part of the home. So sometimes you could have a great interior, but immediately there is a strong wind or a rain. It can lead to a lot of problems inside the home. On the other hand, you can also have a solid, healthy home. The strong foundation and the wiring is great and the plumbing is fantastic, but maybe the paint is not good. The aesthetics interiorly, it is not good. It is not cleansed very well, or there could be mold because it is not cleaned properly. So you can be healthy, not fit, and you can be fit but not healthy. But the sweet spot, what I'm trying to explain here is we should aspire to be healthy and fit, both at the same time, but not because I see a lot of people who pursue fitness at the cost of health, and that is quite dangerous. In fact, the best analogy mentioned in Ayurvedic textbooks, Ashtanga Hridayam by Acharya Vakbata, he says that over-exercising is dangerous. The example that he gives, it's like an elephant fighting with a lion. Even though in the beginning, elephant is strong enough and it can look like the lion is going to die, but slowly this lion will overpower and kill the elephant. The same way, over-exercising, in the beginning, it might look like, okay, it is making me feel good and I'm getting the runner's high or I'm feeling quite good. But if you do it without proper recovery, rest, nutrition, it can slowly kill, just like how the lion ended up killing the elephant in that fight. This is the example it is told in that chapter of Dinacharya and Ashtanga Hridayam. And what he says is, exercise should be done half your strength. And the half strength needs to be increased slowly. As you do it more and more half strength, it gets better. The first time you try to do a run or you try to lift some weights, maybe your ability capacity will be quite less. Maybe you're able to lift only maybe 10 to 15 kilos. So after let's say that you are starting your exercise for the first time and you're lifting like 10, 15 kilos. After doing that initial exercise, there could be some soreness. Then you recover your system and then be very consistent in this strength training or with your endurance. And the key part is being consistent with recovery. This is what makes your half strength keep on raising the bar. So then what happens? What was your half strength today? After 3-4 months, your half strength will be way different. And that is what is mentioned in the Ayurvedic textbooks. You should perform it at your half strength and keep increasing your half strength. And that way, it will help to make sure that you are not compromising your fitness at the cost of your health. So if you look at it, it's like, you have a hardware. And if the hardware is fantastic, but if the software is having a lot of stability issues, then it will crash. So hardware is like the fitness and the software is like the health part. It's like you have a tree and the tree has wonderful branches, leaves, but that is what we call as the fitness part. And the health part is how deep are the roots, how rich are the soil, how rich is the environment that is surrounding it. And another way to look at it, fitness is like, in the runner's world, they call the VO2 max, is how good is your VO2 max. That you can call it as a fitness. And heart rate variability, you can call it as the part of the health. Because you need a balance of both. Health has a lot to do with the recovery. Fitness has a lot to do with pushing your limits and your challenges. Followed with recovery is what brings both health and fitness together. That's why today you see a lot of fitness communities talking about recovery more than ever. Now, I'm happy that people are talking about it. And if you look at it also from an Ayurvedic perspective, we have the Sapta Dhadus, Rasam, Rektam, Mamsam, Medas, like the food you eat, it becomes the nutrients that the body has to absorb. Then it becomes blood, muscles, bones, bone marrow, fat, and also the reproductive tissue. Very recently, I had a patient. He came with his partner for fertility reasons. And the husband, if you look at him, he is jacked, like super well-defined muscles, and he is a bodybuilder. And the problem, it turned out that he is having his spermogram was not correct. So if you look at this, from the 7 tissues, the muscle tissue is fantastic, but the semen, the reproductive tissue is not good because somewhere it became overtly used and it started impacting other aspects of his health. Because sometimes use of testosterone or steroids, it increases the body heat to such an extent that it can deplete the other tissues in the body. And this is what happened here. So his fat percentage will be less than 5. But he's not able to have a good sperm health, which is very important on the overall vitality and health of the person. Like in Ayurveda, the concept of ojas, which we call it as the vitality or the glow of the person, it is a sum total when all the 7 tissues are healthy and balanced. But if one is not balanced properly, if one is in excess and one is not properly balanced, this will have an impact on the health. Whereas fitness is very limited to some of the aspects of your endurance and the Mamsa Dhatu, or including your bones, your joints and mobility, all of this falls into that category. So that is why today you can be fit and you can have bloating issues, you can have difficulty falling asleep, you can have difficulty of just feeling tired, not able to be focused. So it's like fitness has a lot to do with performance, whereas health has a lot to do with your presence of mind. Are you feeling good in your body? Or are you just feeling that, or you feel that my looks are good? So fitness has a lot to do with optics, and whereas health has a lot to do with how you're feeling good about yourself. So these are the 2 aspects that we have to understand. In Charaka Samhita, there is a Sanskrit saying, Yukta Vyayama Balavardhana. Like when a person is doing the right exercise, they use the word right exercise because this right exercise is again about what fits your body, what fits your situation. Like how do you feel after the exercise? After the exercise, are you feeling tired, fatigued? Are you feeling lightheaded? You don't have the energy to do the rest of the work throughout the day. then somewhere you need to realize you're overdoing it, or you need a better support system with the right exercise. But if the post exercise you're feeling very alert, you're feeling very light, you feel very energetic, that means you're doing the right one. The idea is not to do once in a while intensive exercise, it is to be consistent on a regular basis. So looking at this from the Ayurvedic perspective, fitness has a lot to do with the muscle tissue and also your endurance, which is your pranavata. And health has a lot to do with the balance of all the dhatus. Your digestion has to be good, your blood tissue has to be good, including your muscle tissue has to be good, but no excess fat, but at the same time balanced fat. Sometimes having a little bit of fat is good. Sometimes people aspire to have less than 8% of fat. Sometimes it is not really healthy, that they will have a lot of fatigue, and that can also lead to cravings and binging and mood swings. I've seen bodybuilders during the time of their season, they go through extreme sugar fasting, sodium cut, water cut, and they are in one of their worst moods at that time. And this is definitely not sustainable, even though the aesthetically it looks fantastic. But this is, in the long term, it can lead to a lot of other complications. So what we want is, we want fitness at the as the cherry on top of the health. See, sometimes what I mean is, I'm not trying to glorify health over fitness. The idea is we need a balance of both. And if you take healthy people who are not fit, sometimes, they will have the best blood work, they are not overweight and everything looks fine, but suddenly there is a physically challenging work that comes, they get tired very quickly. When healthy people, when they do not work on their fitness, they can age quickly after a certain age. Same way, when fit people do not prioritize recovery and overall other aspects of health, that will kill them slowly, and they will fall sick quite quickly. You'll see, I've seen a patient, her VO2 max was too good, but she was struggling with borderline depression, her sleep is disturbed. And when I saw her heart rate variability, it was very unbalanced. So being fit does not automatically qualify you being healthy. Fitness is just one aspect, and fitness becomes fantastic when you're always healthy. So now let's say you are quite fit person, but you are trying to be healthy. How does that work? So I've seen this also, people who are obsessed with yoga. They say that no matter what happens, at 6 a.m. I have to hit the yoga mat. But if you're sleep deprived and then you hit the yoga mat, and if you do this on a consistent basis, that yoga will do more harm to you. Same way, I've seen people who are into running or Strava groups where they say no matter what happens, 5 a.m. I have to run. And they don't prioritize their sleep. And when they do this, this can also have an impact on their heart health and overall well-being. They feel tired and fatigued, and this leads to other issues. So if you're fit, discipline is good, but align your discipline with your circadian rhythm and other rhythms of your body. Rhythm means, are you eating on time, and are you prioritizing your sleep, and are you recovering well? And it's okay to have a day without any kind of fitness. It's okay to go through a day of recovery. Like there are these memes. If there is people who are obsessed with exercise telling, I need people to come and tell me that one day I have to take rest. And there is another group who are trying to be fit. They tell, I need somebody to come and tell me for at least one day I need to exercise in a week. So we have two polarized groups. What we want is a middle path where, let's say you're doing strength training 3 to 4 times a week with proper recovery, and maybe work on your mobility as well. Sometimes you see a lot of extremely strong people, but their mobility is very bad. But there is also a misunderstanding. They say that if you do a lot of strength training, your mobility will not be good. It's not that mobility is not good. Mobility is a completely different genre that needs to be understood. You have to work on your strength, and you also have to work on your mobility. Yes, when you do a lot of strength training without taking care of your mobility, this can have a problem, because it's like strength training, you are putting the body through a lot of pressure to take a lot of weight. Whereas mobility has a lot to do with your, the suppleness of the body. So you need to work on both parallel in way. That's the only way you can work on both. So you need strength and you need mobility. And on top of that, you also need to work on your recovery with your body, mind, and your nutrition. Now, I also grew up with a group of yoga teachers claiming that You should not go to gym. Gym is for people who take steroids and it is creating a lot of problems. I think there was a time when going to gym was all about steroids, but now we see a new age of fitness influencers who are saying that we don't need those kind of things. And I'm very happy that people are openly voicing about it. And we also have people who are going to gym who are shaming people who do yoga. But what I've seen, some of the top athletes that I've come across and who has been my patients, who have come for multiple other, before their performance, they come for a panchakarma. And I ask them, how is it with yoga and what do you think about it? They say that when I do yoga, my mobility is much better. I get less injury. And they say that it actually complements their strength training and their performance. The same way, when they do the strength training, that also complements their yoga. So we need both, but at the right, not too tight, not too loose, just right. And this is what both of them do to each other. Somewhere we have a group of yoga teachers who are shaming gym. We have a gym goers who are shaming yoga, but we need both. Whereas you need flexibility and you need strength. Flexibility without strength, it's not good. Strength without flexibility, again, not good. We need a blend of both. Like we say, we love to take a flight and we are excited about flying only because we know that we can land safely. We need to fly at the same time, we need to land safely. These are the two aspects. So that is why fitness is fantastic when you're also healthy. Always prioritize, always make sure your fitness pursuit does not compromise or cost your health. Like I always say, if it costs your health, it's not worth it. But if it adds to your health, fantastic. Always, whatever you choose, you need to ask this question, is this going to nourish my health or drain my health? And the more you engage in activities that nourish your health, fantastic. That is how people, because they say that as you age, you are just looking better and better. This is what happens to people who, align all the activities and the values and the decisions that they make that are aligned with their health goals. This is how it works. Now, if you are healthy but not fit, what you can do, start with walking, start with yoga, start with strength training once or twice a week, get a personal trainer, read about this, and prioritize protein intake. Prioritize making sure that your food is having the right macro and micronutrients. And all of this, and slowly you will start seeing when you are also for prioritizing fitness along with your health, you'll start feeling very different. You see, when you do a lot of strength training, it's about performance. When you prioritize recovery and your health, your presence of mind and your clarity of thought will be fantastic. Now, this is one thing I wanted to discuss. And also some of the learnings that I had when I did the Hyrox. One is having muscle definition does not mean your endurance is great. And also, just by having endurance does not mean your strength need be great. You need to find that sweet spot where your strength and endurance are coming together. And in order to have these two, you need to prioritize good recovery. That's the way forward for this. And also, you need to have good mobility to achieve this. Another funny observation that I was having, people were paying close to $100 and they were going to suffer there actually. But there was everything that I saw about Hyrox, it is every space or inside that Hyrox was Instagrammable. They made it so good that everybody is getting that accolades and the fame and the recognition. Everything is, and there will be people, supporting staff of Hyrox taking your photos and they will sell it to you and you can post this in your social media. And people who are enjoying that. And even then I saw some people when they were suffering in that sandbag lunges and suddenly one person was taking a photo and then suddenly they started smiling when the camera came, even though you could see they were in deep pain. So one thing that I have to explain, when you find meaning in your suffering, it becomes a beautiful challenge. Like once I was going to a gym, which was on the 4th floor of the building, and the elevator was not functioning and it was not working well. And people had to climb 4 floors, and then come to the gym. And I saw some participants in that gym, after climbing the 4 stairs, they were complaining and with very rude behavior to the receptionist. How can you have a gym when the elevator is not working? And then they go inside the gym and switch on the treadmill and start running. So this is just the way we think, the way we perceive. And we have to normalize, it's okay to do physical activity, it's okay to push the body to a challenge, but not to challenge it in a way that you're getting injured. And this was a very insightful wisdom that I got with this athlete who's into ultra run. His name is Christian Morgan, who wanted to go for the ultra run record breaking in Appalachian Trail. And he used to tell me the real wisdom of a good athlete is to know to challenge your body and remember and to realize that the challenge that I'm doing is only pushing my limits better, but not going to get me injured. That wisdom comes with a lot of intuition and knowing yourself. And that can happen only when you learn to prioritize recovery past every workout that you do, or any endurance cardio workout that you do, or even with yoga that you try to do. So whether it's yoga, whether it's cardio, whether it's CrossFit or strength training, be very intuitive with your body. How do you feel afterwards? Not just immediately afterwards, the days afterwards. How are you feeling? And are you feeling better in your body, or you feel you're feeling tired or lethargic, or you feel sore for a very long period? Then something needs to change. Either your sleep has to improve, or your nutrition has to improve, or your approach has to change, or you need to space things in a better way. Some people, they say that I feel better when I do the workout in the morning. For some people, they do very well when they do the workout in the evening. But there are multiple studies which talks about when you do the intense workouts closer to your sleep can be quite disturbed. So always try to do a good workout before 6 p.m. or maybe not more than 7 p.m. And if you're going to sleep by 11 p.m. So make sure you space at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep. This also has a good impact on hitting the deep sleep, because deep restorative sleep is one of the most important markers that you can look up to improve the quality of your health and overall mental well-being. If you are fit, but your health you did not prioritize your health, focus on your sleep, focus on your nutrition, focus on spacing, focus on restful days. If you're healthy but never prioritized fitness, make sure you move enough but not tire yourself, and slowly increase your half strength so that you get better in your physical abilities. This way you understand health and fitness, it's like two wings of the body, two wings of the same bird. You need both the wings to fly. You can't just fly with one wing. That's the beauty when you have both.